Hi there, it's Mr. Wedge, and today we're going to do some henna. And henna is a kind of ink that you draw right onto your skin, on your hand. But we're not going to do that today, we're going to make a picture. So, I've got some materials here. You're going to need some paper, and a pencil, and a permanent marker. So hopefully you have a permanent marker. It's got to be like a Sharpie or any kind of marker that doesn't wash out. You could also just use a pen, like a ballpoint pen for this. But here we go. I'm going to trace my hand first. So I put my hand down. Oh, I got to put my name on my paper. Mr. Wedge. Alright, and I'm also going to write 1 for first grade dash remote. R-E-M-O-T-E. That just means we do school at home or somewhere else. So name and first grade and remote. Flip it over. Now I can trace my hand. And I think it helps when you trace your hand to have your pencil straight up in the air. So see how the pencil's kind of pointing at you right now? When I write or draw, I hold my pencil like this, but then the pencil goes underneath your fingers. So when I'm tracing something, I hold it a little bit differently. I'm just going to go right around all my fingers, make sure I'm touching my hand the whole time. And then at the bottom, just have it go right off the paper like that. So there's my hand. And then I can outline it with my Sharpie, or your pen, or whatever permanent marker you have. I'm just going to go right around my whole hand like a car is going down a road. There we go. And once you've done that, if there's any spots where you can see the pencil still, you could just erase those, because the permanent marker is not going to go away. It just stays. Alright, looks good. So now I can start using my patterns. And so if you have like a long pattern that could fit inside a finger, there's a wavy line. I could add leaves onto it like this. What else could I do? I could do a pattern that looks like this, circles with circles inside them. With little circles on the outsides. And you don't have to do every single finger, but we just want to decorate this hand with patterns. And in the palm of the hand, or the back of the hand, we could have some different shapes. You could draw the same shape inside it, sort of like this. There's a place you could add more patterns. So you could always do patterns inside of patterns. Zigzags, wavy lines, lines that cross over each other like this. So these are diagonal lines, but then I could go the other direction. And that's a pattern you see a lot in henna or mehndi. It's got different names depending on what culture is doing it. You could put dots inside of those. So I'm going to keep going and adding patterns, and you could copy the ones that I showed you, or you could come up with your own. We just want to decorate our hand with a permanent marker. Okay, so once you've decorated your hand and you're happy with it, we're going to stain the hand. Just a general skin color, just a general brown. So for that we need either brown watercolor, or you could get brown tempera paint and mix it with a lot of water. You could do brown acrylic paint, but you have to be careful because that doesn't wash out. Or if you're anybody in your family drinks coffee or tea and they have some left over, you could use that too. You just have to make it really strong so it's dark. But let me show you. We're just going to take a brush, and whatever your brown stain is that we're using, and we're just going to go through and paint our whole hand like this. And then we'll let that dry, and that'll be it. And if it's not quite dark enough to you, because it looks, the white of the paper is showing through, you could just let this dry and go back over it, and it'll get a little bit darker. And because we used permanent marker, we're not messing up all our hard work that we did. It'll just look more like a hand this way. So I'm being careful and I'm just staining everything that's skin. And then I'll let that dry. And like I said, if you want to paint over it again and make it a little bit darker, you can. You're just gonna have to wait a few minutes for this to dry. I waited a little bit and my stain is completely dry. So if you want, there's one more thing we can do. You don't have to do this, it's optional. But I mixed a color that I liked and now I can paint the background. And you could use tempera paint or poster paint. You could do acrylic for this, but you got to be careful because acrylic doesn't wash out. But I'm going real slow and careful on the edges, and I'm just going to paint my background. Henna! Work hard, have fun.